Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. I'm Crystal, the Crystalline Priestess, intuitive evolutionary astrologer and psychic tarot reader, and today we have the daily horoscope for Wednesday, the 11th of, I was about to say November, of September 2024. So my loves, another day of cray cray. Now we actually have the moon, who is halfway through Sagittarius and starting to square with Daddy Saturn. At the same time as moving into its opposition with Jupiter, as Jupiter is starting now to make, well, the Sun is starting to make his square with Jupiter. So big mutable T square building at the same time as a mutable grand cross. So the grand cross is, it's not actually going to hit exactly. We don't have perfect degrees in this aspect, but we do have a lot of intensity nonetheless. So the moon is showing that we are really struggling to emotionally integrate the harshness of what we're currently needing to physically get done. There is so much on our plates that it's feeling like Wednesday, it's feeling like a little bit of an implosion. I literally check out the channeled song, but I feel like it might even be a day where it's hard to breathe. Like there might be people having panic attacks, people feeling overwhelmed, people feeling freaked out. We also have Lilith, who is not there yet in exact, but she's starting to oppose Chiron. And now Lilith being in an opposition with Chiron while she's still so close to Venus, and Venus is in her home sign, but she's been there with Lilith this whole time. And so with Venus also being the South Node's dispositor while the North Node is in Aries and the South Node is in Libra, we are really dealing with some shady sort of stuff and some energies where we're really wanting to go backwards. It feels as though there's a test that's coming up for us on Wednesday that is asking for us, I didn't even pull my Astro dice, I forgot, that is asking for us to emotionally regulate ourselves as best as we possibly can, especially with Mars still being in Cancer, and Mars is still at 3 degrees. So there's really still this very strong feeling of us being in a sluggish sort of energy and sluggishly getting towards these goals. And it feels as though it's hard because it feels like externally there's a lot of pressure that's asking for us to, you know, I feel like it's asking for us to know how to move through this pressure. It's not about mastering how the hell to move with a million different pieces moving at once. It feels as though it's about what's the best way that you can deal with this pressure? What is the best way that you can move forward even though things are feeling emotionally scattered and like there is too much going on, there's too much happening, there's too many thoughts going on at once, there's too many ideas, there's too many things that need to happen. How can you just put one foot in front of the other, one step at a time, and just get things done? Literally, I hear it all the time. One step at a time, there's no need to rush. It's like learning to fly or falling in love. It's gonna happen when it's supposed to happen. So just find the reason why and keep moving forward one step at a time, okay? That's like an old song. I can't even remember. It's gonna happen when it's supposed to happen. I don't know, is it JoJo or something? Like, this is about knowing that it's gonna happen when it's supposed to happen, and that you can't just decide that because you want it to happen overnight, it's going to. This is the classic energy of you know, people who are looked at as being an overnight success, and every single one of them will tell you that it took them 10 years to become an overnight success. They had to put in the hard yards, yeah, they had to put in the 10,000 hours. Nobody gets away with it. Nobody gets away with it. Nobody gets safe from it and free from it, and nobody, you know, has this get out of jail free card when it comes to having to put in the work. We all have to do it. We all have to do the hard stuff in order to reach the places we want to get to. That is why Capricorn is about climbing the mountain, and why Saturn and Capricorn energy is about getting to the top, because it is strong enough and structured enough and diligent enough and committed enough to make the plunge and to do the thing and to keep going. It's not about just taking that first initial step. It's about continuing to walk the path. And this is a day where it's like, put one foot in front of the other. Keep walking the path, because the path is going to feel uncomfortable with Pluto and Aquarius in the 3rd house. So a lot is coming in when it comes to the global thing. A lot is coming in when it comes to maybe even our families. Environmentally, it feels like there's a lot going on around us. Wherever you are in the world watching this video, it feels as though your environment feels chaotic. Your environment feels like there's so much that needs to get done. There's so much that we need to look at. And it feels as though collectively, Wednesday is a day where we're going to start seeing a lot of stuff happening, because we've had the sun in opposition with Saturn, because now we have the moon reaching a powerful T-square between the sun and with Saturn. You know, if we look at the sun, it's 18 degrees of Virgo. We look at the moon, it's 15 degrees of Sag. And obviously it's not going to stay at 15 degrees. The moon only stays on a degree for about 2.5 hours. So it takes, you know, it's going to move on. But then he's going to start to square with Neptune. So, you know, we're not out of the woods at any point. Once we have planets connect with Saturn at the moment, then after Saturn, we have Neptune. So anytime we have Pisces or mutable activation at the moment, it's feeling like it's really fucking intense. And it's feeling like it's really calling us forward to make better decisions. And now we are also going to have the moon in an opposition with Jupiter, obviously, because this grand cross is building. So the moon's opposition with Jupiter as the sun is starting to square with Jupiter. Not exact yet. We're not there yet. But it's starting to build, so we're really starting to feel where there is so much to do. You know, it's an expansion. Jupiter expands anything it touches. So when the moon's in an opposition there, we're dealing with an expansion of emotions, because it feels like there is so much. And when it's Jupiter and when it's Sagittarius, it feels like there's a lot of ideas or beliefs that we have about how we should be or where we should be at, or, you know, how things should be running. And the fact that they're chaotic and they're not running that way could be difficult. It could be bringing up anxiety for people. We have the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. We have the Two of Cups coming out though. So I like that, because I feel as though it's a day that is offering opportunity to connect with, you know, compromises. Seven of Pentacles. Connect with the compromises that you need to make. Connect with other people. Have the conversations. For a lot of us, it could be that we're needing to have these sort of more tough conversations with our partners and in relationships. With Lilith being in so close to Venus, like this whole time, and Venus being in Libra, you know, there's just this feeling today where it's really about being honest with the people that are closest to us, you know, being honest with our partners and saying, look, this isn't working, or this isn't. Or even with this Two of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles, you know, connecting and committing with our partners and understanding that we are building this together, that this is going to grow together, and that in order to get to where we want to go, you know, two hands are better than one. You know, that's how many hands make light work, is sort of the energy. So I feel as though Wednesday is us realizing that we need more help. We need more people around us. We need to connect with people and to let other people help us. And especially when it comes to relationships in general, even business partnerships, but just, you know, one-on-one relationships in general, they can really be nurtured and sort of expanded upon if you're willing to put in the work at the moment, and if you're willing to meet a comfortable balance between each other. You know, Ace of Swords in reverse, it's about having to have tough conversations, because there's this feeling where it feels difficult to explain, it feels difficult to connect, it feels difficult to maybe get your point across, you know. And so it feels as though today is a day where it's like, no, let's just try our very best to be as open and honest as possible without being you know, without being over the top. You know, Moon in Sagittarius opposing Jupiter in Gemini, not letting your mouth, you know, sort of like word vomit. That this could be a day of word vomit. So essentially, don't let word vomit get the best of you. There's an intense possibility, I think, for just spontaneous, like, oh shit, I've just said the wrong thing, like just kind of like having a little bit of a blow up energy. So just be mindful of that, because this grand mutable energy is very much like it just pops out of nowhere, and I'm just like, have to say this, and then all of a sudden I've just told my partner that like I can't stand the way that they do this thing that's been pissing me off for like 2 years, and I've just mentioned it, and they're like literally standing there like dumbfounded. I'm like, what? So you've been telling me that you got with me and I'm like a fucking car guy, and you've been pretending for the last 2 years that you're into cars, but it turns out you hate cars? Like, what? what are you telling me right now? Like, that's kind of the energy where it's just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? So just be mindful of that. We have Inner Earth coming out. You'll survive this, new solutions and beginnings, and the 7 star sisters, which is birthing creations, tapestry of life and expression. So this is definitely just, you know, you'll survive this period of time where you're in the process of birthing, in the process of building. Birth is hard. You know, I haven't had a baby yet, but I can pretty much fucking tell the birth ain't easy. You know, it's one of those things. It's one of those things. There is no human that gets onto this planet without pain being a part of the process. And so that's why I suppose pleasure and pain, there's a fine line between pleasure and pain, because it's actually quite pleasurable to push yourself through a point of pain that actually, you know, creates progress. So that's actually pleasure. So really it's about your mindset and about how you're seeing pleasure and pain, and how you're seeing all of these sort of experiences and all of these things that are happening. How are you looking at them? What's your perception of them? There's new solutions coming in. There's a new way to express yourself. And I think that through expressing yourself and having conversations with the people around you and the people close to you, it's actually really going to help you to find a solution and to find, because that's what this is. We're building into a grand cross that is looking for a resolution. So we have the Companion and the Knight at the bottom of the deck. The Companion says loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. The Knight says loyalty, romance, and chivalry, a love of honor. So 2 archetypes, both speaking to loyalty. So I like this because I feel as though this is a day of becoming committed and loyal to a path, committed and loyal to a person, a project, something, you know, something that's been putting a lot of pressure on you for a long time. You're committed to it, you're staying loyal to it, you're sticking to it. The Knight is loyal, literally. He's completely loyal to the path and to the journey that he feels as though he is a knight on. So this is being in, you know, it's honor. I feel as though people don't realize that to stick something out is honorable. And so sticking this out at the moment and being, you know, I think unselfish to the extent of sticking things out and to open yourself up in a way that actually says, I'm ready to listen, I'm willing to listen, I'm willing to compromise. The shadow attributes of the Companion is betrayal by misusing confidences and a loss of personal identity. As well as the Knight is an allegiance to a destructive ruler or principle and romantic delusions. So it's not about being delusional at the moment. It is really with this massive sort of like mutable energy that we have building, and with this the moon being in a square with Saturn, we're really needing to, you know, be honest with ourselves and to take responsibility, emotional responsibility for our anger as well, emotional responsibility for maybe where in the past we've been allegiant to something that was destructive. And even with the shadow attributes of the Companion, maybe we have betrayed someone, maybe we have betrayed a past of ourselves, maybe we've you know, haven't given ourselves what we needed in the past. And so Wednesday really is a day of giving ourselves what we need, paying attention to ourselves in the way that we truly need it, and really moving forward in a way that is just putting one foot in front of the other and doing the best we can with what it is that we have. So my loves, I'm going to leave this reading there. I do hope that you enjoyed it. Please do let me know in the comments what's going on with you. If you feel like sharing, do give this video a like, because it really helps to help spread more Astro nerd vibes to other Astro nerds. If you want to book a personal tarot or astrology reading with me, you can do that down below through my link tree, because my website is still down. Make sure you check out your channeled song, and I will see you in tomorrow's daily horoscope. Peace.